dear students. Today in last class we discussed about the various environment factor that is important in cultivation greenhouse. Today we are going to discuss on planning and design of greenhouse. As you know that already we have discussed many things about the greenhouse. In design of greenhouse is very important component of the overall scheme in greenhouse cultivation. And in greenhouse, you know very well that certainly from the greenhouse you want to protect from. Before designing, you have to look into the minimum temperature, maximum temperature and average temperature of that location. What is humidity in last 10 to 25 years, solar radiation of that place, clearness of sky, okay, then precipitation, rain, hail, snow and average wind speed, and wind direction is also very important. So before going for design, we have to look into what is the local outdoor condition at that location where there you want to design, or after designing you want to construct the greenhouse. You know very well that the environment inside the greenhouse, you can see here that the outside environment, we cannot control the outside environment. So what is in our control? We have only two things: design of greenhouse and the management. Means you have the outside natural climate plus greenhouse design and management, means how you are doing the economical practices and how you are doing the other activities, heating, cooling and managing the other parameters inside the greenhouse. So there is no control on your inside natural climate. So only you have the control on the greenhouse design. Today we are going to discuss. So that will give the greenhouse climate. Already we have discussed that the greenhouse design, in greenhouse design, the three things are very important. That structure means the frame, on that you are using the cladding material, means the cover, different type of covers, cladding materials we have discussed, and environment control, different gadgets you are using to control the environment inside the heating, cooling, CO2, so many other parameters inside the greenhouse. So in greenhouse, these three factors are plays a very important role in getting the desired environment inside the greenhouse for depending on the types of crop you want to cultivate. Environment already we have discussed in last lecture and earlier also, that here in different way today I have written like aerial environment is required, and that the root zone. Aerial means how you have to do the cooling, heating, CO2 concentration, maintain the CO2 concentration inside the greenhouse, and VPD, vapor pressure difference, that is related to your relative humidity. And the root zone, oxygen. In last class in lecture 6 we already discussed the importance of oxygen in the root zone. And nutrition is, you know very well that the nutrition also plays a very important role in overall controlling the environment of controlling the biological activity of crop. And already we have discussed that in greenhouse design, depending upon which type of greenhouse you are constructing, means it is low cost. Certainly in detail we have discussed about the low cost, medium cost, low cost or low technology. Means if technology involved is very low, there is no technology, and the local material using for fabricating the frame, certainly low cost, that is low cost. Already we have discussed in detail about the low cost, medium cost and high cost greenhouse. And in that we have discussed that the different type of, which type of gadget you are using for heating, cooling, CO2, then you are using artificial media or not. So depending upon the types of greenhouse, either it is low cost, medium, high cost, your design will change. And here in today, in 6 headings we will going to discuss. First is the site selection and layout. Second is the design load, construction, safety and utilities. In planning and design of greenhouse, we will discuss today under 5 head. In site location and layout, you can also consult there is a recommendation for layout, design and construction of greenhouse structure. Indian standards is there. BIS has, Bureau of Indian Standards has given various standards for various, not only for this greenhouse, it works in various industry throughout India, and they prescribe what is the standard should be for that. Here for greenhouse, they have recommended what is the layout, design and the construction of the greenhouse can be done. So you can also look into the details of from here. in site location, you know that certainly if you are constructing the greenhouse, it should be free from the shadow. If shadow is coming, if shadow is coming on your greenhouse, the actual natural light will be hindered. Apart from that, it should be the site location should be at height, so that the drainage, so that the runoff water should not come at that side, and then it should have the proper drainage facility. Apart from that, the good irrigation quality should be nearby, so that you can use for irrigating the crops inside the greenhouse. Apart from that, pH and EC of your water and the soil, because in soil, suppose that you are going in crop in the soil, so pH and EC of soil and water is very important in greenhouse cultivation. Motorable roads should be there nearby, so that we can after harvesting the produce, you can transport those produce, or suppose a different various input materials you are using in greenhouse cultivation, so motorable roads should be there. And depending upon the which crop cycle you are following, normally soil needs to be changed or sterilized after every 3 to 4 years, so to avoid the build-up of soil pathogen inside the greenhouse. So that is the major challenge. Normally, alternatively, people using artificial media, okay, for that can be option in place of your soil. Location, already we have discussed that the location should be nearby highway, or if it is highway, means the transportation of your input or output material will be easy, and if it is nearby a residential area, certainly the output you are getting, it will be easy for selling the produce. In site layout, whenever you are going for greenhouse cultivation, there are different components as required. So head house is there. There we used to store the various this is the structure there. The various components are there to that facilitate in greenhouse cultivation. So that should be north of the greenhouse to reduce the shading. Already as I told that the shading is the major challenge. You have to take care about the shading. So shading should not come on your greenhouse structure. Wind break, normally you provide depending upon the what is height of your wind break, normally to reduce the wind speed, because you know in greenhouse cultivation the major challenge is your stability of a structure, and people are using nowadays insurance company are providing the insurance, because if your structure is cladding material is damaged, so cost will be less. But if your structure has damage, normally you will find a lot of photograph in different parts of India due to poor design, or maybe due to high wind speed or its direction. It is very common that greenhouse structure is damaged. Apart from that, the separate supplier and customer traffic should be there in layout. Means the area where you are going for cultivation, their proper layout should be there for pathway, for transportation of input material, for transportation output material. Apart from that retail sales area, sometimes in some of the big greenhouse company are providing the outlet facility, so outlet area should be there, so that the customer can come or any retailer can come and they can take their produce from the that site itself. Here you can say plan layout of greenhouse. This is the tentative, you can say one design has been given. Production area, certainly if you have the production area, then the separate area should be there for future expansion. Suppose that you have the 1 acre greenhouse cultivation you are doing currently, or in future you want to expand for 1 acre more or 2 acre more. So future expansion area should be there. Apart from that, the pesticide storage area, growing media storage area, equipment storage area, office space should be there, employee lounge should be there, sales area, and many more. So before going for the constructing a greenhouse, you have to make the proper layout, keeping all those important components that plays a very important role in cultivation of greenhouse. Orientation is also very important, but because it affects depending on light intensity and direction wind of speed is also, as I told, that this plays a very important role. Or in single span greenhouse, normally you use east-west direction of the greenhouse, and in multi-span normally you go for north-south and slope of the gutter, because in gutter through the rainwater that rainfall that is coming that go out, we drain the water. Wind break already we have talked. So basically, why orientation is important? You know that depending upon your location, season, the direction of sun and latitude of your location. So the movement of sun is different. So you have to think that suppose if it is a single span, in that case it is not challenging, but in multi span you have to take care that throughout the inside the structure all the plants are getting uniform light, more or less uniform light, because light is very light plays very important role. Apart from that, you have to also take care about the wind speed, so you have to make the trade up among these parameters. Then head house, already we discussed that the head house basically is the house to office that has office space, utilities space. Utilities means the heating, cooling, CO2 and many more facility that is created to support the greenhouse cultivation. Work area, employee area, already storage area, dispatch area, and in that you can say that these are the things that plays a very important role. Normally the size of head house you can see from this table 1 that if the area is between 1000 to 3900 square meter, this is approximate table is given here. You can see that if the area is between 1000 to 3999, then the 14% means on 100 square meter area we need the head house area of 14 meter. Okay, as you see that as we go along, if your area is more than 8000 square meter, so you are seeing that the head house area is decreasing. So between first column 1000 to 3900, 14% of your area is required, but if you move to more than 8000, so it's only 7% of required area, because in 100 square meter we need 7 square meter of head space area, head house area. Interior layout means the inside the greenhouse, how we have given what is the layout inside your greenhouse for cultivating the crops. And depending on types of crop, normally 2 types are there. Benches only sometimes used on the floor. On the floor itself we cultivate, or sometimes use the benches for cultivation of crop. Each has one advantage and disadvantage, and depending upon the type of crop you use floor or benches. Benches are usually provided for pot plants production, and bedding, bedding plants are generally grown on the floor. And it is given that which type of material you can use for fabricating the benches, and what should be height from the ground, and there are various factors. And SL means inside the greenhouse we have the free space for movement of your machinery, person, those are involved in cultivation of greenhouse, and normally use the longitudinal space. So various types of arrangement has been given. So you can see from this picture that in figure 4 you can see normally the longitudinal layout of greenhouse beds is normally followed, because it will helpful in putting your drip line and other heating facility, heating pipes that is going inside your bed. So normally you go for the figure 4 if using on the ground, and it depending upon your choice you can go for other layout also. In design load we have the 4 types of load we will discuss. Dead load is that is permanent load. All fixed services equipment such as heating, ventilating, air circulation, electrical, lighting, watering, energy conservation, blankets, so thermal screening use. So for those are the items those required for heating, ventilating, air circulation, electrical. So you have to provide the facility so that because these are the permanent load, so you have to take count about the total load, means because you are, as I told, the various gadgets you are using for supporting the greenhouse. Apart from that, we have the long-term crops like the tomato, cucumber. In that case, because we are supported by their structure, so that will also add into your dead load. Apart from that, second is the live load. Live load is temporary load, means that is variable load, shall include the mass of repair crew. Those are moving on to repair your greenhouse cladding material and some other repair work, and the hanging plants, suppose that you are using inside the greenhouse. And snow load, you can say normally in India, in very few parts in Kashmir or some parts of India it is required, but outside in Europe and other country where the temperatures go normally for more than 6 months, -20, there the snow load is very important. In snow load also you have to take care about what is snow load, what will be spacing between the various greenhouses, and for that also the Indian standard is given that how to calculate the snow load. Apart from that, as I told, the 4th load is the wind load. That is very important. As I told that one of the major challenges in the greenhouse is the is calculation of wind load, because due to high wind speed and its direction, normally the greenhouse damage, and that is the big challenge throughout the India. For that also, the Indian standard in IS 875 in part 3 it is discussed. So for detail you can see there. Especially trends should give it to ensure that enough ground may be there to assist the upward lift of the force created by the wind. Basically, I want to say that the wind load is the major challenge, apart from your dead load, or live load, or snow load. In India, snow load, as I told, in various few parts you have to take into account the snow load, but the major challenge is the wind load. From this table 2 you can see that the various value is given, means the minimum value you have to consider for per square meter, Newton per meter square. So based on how much force it contributes, so you have to calculate the total load that is acting on the greenhouse. So for dead load you can see that if it is the pipe frame, polythene cover, then 100 Newton per square meter, but for truss frame, lap glass, it is 250. You can see from this table that wind load is the 500 Newton per square meter, and for snow it is 750. So what I want to say that for major part of India you can see that the wind load is the major challenge. Okay, but outside India, as I told, where the snow is there, so certainly you have to take into account the snow load. So what I want to say that the total load you have to calculate depending upon your type of structure, location where you are, you have to calculate all the load that is very essential for calculating the total force that is acting on your greenhouse. Because normally the people from the, you can say, structural engineering background, they helps in the designing of a structure, and people from the, you can say, plant physiology, or you can say horticulture, engineering, they work in the team. And because the plant physiologist is more concerned about the light, right, and the engineers are more concerned about the light, and you can say in other parameters. But the strength of material, what is the structural strength, that is very important, because that plays a very important role. Because if your structure is damaged routinely, that will hamper the total overall economics of your greenhouse cultivation. In third part is the construction. There the first is the foundation. Certainly earlier we have already discussed that the various parts of in lecture 5 we have discussed the various parts of greenhouse, right, various component of greenhouse. In that, first here we are discussing the foundation. Certainly for if you are constructing any house or any building or any structure, simple structure also, foundation is very important. So pier foundation may be adequate for providing basically that provide the strength, because that bear out the whole load. Okay, so here we will take care about how much it should be, up to what depth the pier should be go, what should be spacing, depending upon various specifications are given, and which material you are using for constructing the foundation. So here you can, from the figure you can see that in figure 5, this is a temporary greenhouse foundation. You can see that the depth is it is 600 given, and the pipe frame is there, and coupling and different components are there to provide the strength, because this foundation, because that bear out the whole load, means the dead load, live load, snow load, and your you can say the wind load. So various types of foundation material, various types of foundations are there that you use in the greenhouse, depending upon which type, low cost, medium, high cost, and what is the total force that is acting. So depending upon requirement, the various types of you can say foundation is there. In figure 7, figure 8, you can see the detail. Here from this table 3, you can see that depending upon the greenhouse span, if the greenhouse span is 6.1 meter, means the width, span means width. So you can see that if the greenhouse width is the 6.1 meter, so as you move along if your pier diameter, means the diameter of the material that you are using for supporting the structure, pier diameter. So as you are moving the pier spacing, means between the two, you can say the pier spacing you are using. So as you are moving along suppose that there is width wise and length wise, you are putting the supporting material. So if supporting spacing is 1.2, so in that case 150 meter diameter is required. But as you move, you can see from this table that as we are moving, means if pier spacing is increasing, so your pier diameter is also. Also you can see that if you're increasing the greenhouse span and your pyre spacing is 1.2 meter, you can see that your pyre diameter is also increasing. So depending upon your greenhouse span and pyre spacing, your pyre diameter will increase, right? Will vary. Floor means the inside the greenhouse, the SL area is there, and the outside also, as I told, in the head house is there. So in that area outside, road is there and different area is there. So how to make the floor here? For that it is discussed that how to make it should not be damaged, and it should be because the minimum thickness and different type of material are there to construct the floor of the greenhouse inside the open area and outside. Okay, and frame already we have discussed in lecture 5 details. Normally you go for wood, steel, aluminum, reinforced concrete. Depending on the type of frame, you have to take care about if you already have discussed that if you talking about the wood, then may be painted and otherwise because due to decay. Apart from that, in case of steel, aluminum, you have to take care about the white paint, other metal, improve the light reflection inside because that is because you are using the steel frame that obstruct the passing of light inside. For that you sometimes use the paint. Apart from that, you have to think about you can say insulation, because due to if you are using the steel or aluminum pipe, there is an insulation challenge. So sometimes you have to paint you have to reduce the insulation losses also. So what I am saying that depending upon the type of structure, your area of structure means it is 100 square meter or 4000 square meter. Okay, so and types of structure, total load, you can select, an availability of material, you can select the different type of material for constructing the frame. Means the structure and various shape of a structure already we discussed in detail in lecture 5. So you can see there, certainly depending upon, as I told, area, purpose, total load, and the orientation of your sunlight, various factors affect your various shape of selection of the shape of a structure. Apart from that, cladding material already we have discussed in detail in lecture 5. You can also see there also. Apart from that, for greenhouse structure, IS standard, Indian standard is there for your greenhouse film. For plastic film it is given. And apart from that, we have already discussed glass greenhouse film is there, then plastic film, rigid panel. So you can also refer to lecture 5. As you know that after the frame, the cladding materials plays a very important role, okay, because that affect your transmission global radius, means UV ray and PAR. Already we discussed that the PAR is, you are more concerned about the PAR because that helps in your photosynthesis. Apart from that, transmission of heat radiation means the near infrared, far near infrared that is coming, that helps in heating because that adds in the increasing the temperature, and far infrared, that part that is reflected from your different material inside the structure, because far infrared plays a very important role especially during night, so that if far infrared will not go outside the structure, so it will help in conserving the heat inside the structure. Apart from insulating effect, because what is the insulation property of your cladding material? Glass has different property, plastic has different property, because due to conduction, loss of it will be occur. So you have to also take about the insulation effect of the cladding material. Apart from that, sensitivity to aging, UV degradation. Apart from that, fire behavior, how it is behaving with the fire. Apart from that, what is cost per square meter, and available dimension, means what is the width. Width is a very important issue. We have to take care about what is the width of material, means that if you are using a plastic film, what is the width available in the market. So these are the parameters, very important parameter we have to. Apart from that, other parameters also there. So we will discuss here that the UV stabilization, whenever you are selecting the film, what happens, since in normal plastic film, PE film, what happens in natural state, these polymers deteriorate rapidly when exposed to sunlight. The sun's UV light transferred its energy to PE molecules, causing them to become so energized they are readily means due to UV ray, your polyethylene film oxidize and it gives carbon dioxide and water. So we have to reduce your oxidation of your polyethylene film. For that you use the different kinds of UV stabilizer that is available in the market. So normally the film manufacturer go for putting UV. If you use the normal plastic from I always used to get a lot of question that a lot of film is available in the market. Normal polyethylene film is available in the local market, okay, but that film will decay in very short time, but the greenhouse film we are using normally work for 3 to 5 years, because in all the greenhouse film, in all the good film, UV stabilization chemical is added. For that helps is one chemical, hindered amine light stabilizer is added. And you have to also think that here what is happening, it reduce the, it is not protecting the UV light is going inside, okay. So it is only reducing the decay of your polyethylene film, basically, because if you are using your natural bee for pollination and other material, so your UV light should be go inside the film. Apart from diffuse film and clear film, you know, in film the property is added so that in clear film if you are getting all the light, you know that at each point you get the direct radiation or diffuse radiation. Why diffuse radiation is important? If it is not diffuse radiation, so inside means you can say the top leaf is getting light, inside it is shade. So if it is diffuse radiation, all parts of plant is getting the uniform, more or less uniform light. So diffuse property is very important. Nowadays whenever you go for purchase of the film, all these parameters are well written, that it is diffuse film, clear film, and okay, and UV stabilized, the film is UV stabilized or not, and it helps in, because if you're getting all the parts of the leaf is getting, so it helps in the increasing the photosynthesis and certainly the biomass production. UV blocker film is also there, means it will block the UV film, okay, it will block the UV light. So UV light will not go inside your greenhouse. You can see from the picture, if UV light is going, so if there is no UV light, it will affect the movement of your insect, okay, because the insect lose visual ability inside the greenhouse, preventing viral, fungal disease and crop damage caused by white fly, aphids. So these are this type of film, UV blocker film is there. It also helps in, because there is normally in rose case, you can see this from picture, if the UV ray is going, that blackens your petals of the rose. So if you block the UV ray, so blackening process will reduce for the rose petals. Okay. Apart from that, this is very important. It is very interesting that infrared additive. It is two types. You can see that as I told earlier also, the NIR means the near infrared. It is given, if you see the different literature, different value is given. More or less, you can say range is between 700 to 3000 nanometer. How it helps, as I told, it is mostly substituted into the heat. Okay, so the place where the winter temperature is very low. Okay, so there we put so what we will do, if you suppose that in cold country, so you will not put the infrared additive, so infrared will go inside. If you protect from the infrared, like in 90% of India, you can see that the winter temperature is normally more than 10 degree. Okay, there you don't need the near infrared. For that, you are at the Birsa Agriculture in our department, we have proposed a project. There we are purchasing such a film that will protect that the near infrared light will not go inside. So it will reduce, because as I told earlier also, that in Jharkhand, you can say 90% of India, the major challenge is summer time, okay, because as I told, the near infrared adds the heat, and that is the far infrared. Already earlier I explained that basically the radiation that is emitted by the various parts component inside the greenhouse, that is very important. That will not go, because in night time, if you will not go outside, so it will because in night time, because you are not getting sunlight, okay, so due to temperature is very low in night time, so you have to protect the energy that you are getting in daytime. Apart from anti-dust additive is also added, because what happens with the time, a lot of dust material accumulate on the surface of your greenhouse cladding material, and that will reduce your light, because light is very important, okay, and for that the chemical is also additive is also added, that will reduce means the dust particle will not attach to your cladding material, and you have to take care whenever fixing the cladding material, the anti-dust means that part will go on the top, okay. And roof slope is also important, because it will affect how much light is going, how much transmission is happening. You can see from this picture that if the angle of incident means because depending upon roof slope, your angle of your incidence will vary, and location also, latitude is also important. Okay, season is also important. So if the angle of incidence is 0, you can see from picture 90%, more than 90% the light is going. As we are increasing the angle of incidence, means if the angle of incidence is increasing, so transmission of light is less. So you have to also take care about the roof slope. But as I told, that throughout the year your sunlight changes. Okay, latitude, depending upon latitude, is also important. So you have to make the trade up, right? Because stability is also important, shape is also important. So you have to take care about those things, and our purpose should be there, or the transmission should be maximum. So okay, the transmission should be maximum. Apart from that, there are various components inside the greenhouse that obstruct the passing of sunlight inside the, like thermal screen, supplement lighting system you are using, and other greenhouse heating system you are using, that obstruct so you have to think that there should be minimum gadget you are using on the top, because it obstruct the passing of your light informally inside the greenhouse. So normally there are different types of people are trying, different type of system has come inside on the ground, inside the soil. So you will try to reduce the on the top obstruction, so that maximum light should go inside. And size, as I told, depending upon your venture, means that if you are starting, you can start with 100 square meter. If you are working for commercial, you have the well versed with the greenhouse technology. So depending upon your experience, purpose, crop, market, so many factors are there. But briefly, I have written some. The size of greenhouse changes, and height is also important, because you know that you used to say that if your roof height is very high, some of the you have visited some of the mahal, right? You can see that more than 15 meters, so you can feel cooling, right? Because that will affect the environment, right? The height, but here now you have to think about the stability also, cost also added. So depending upon area, your height changes, and in that also side and gutter height is also important. So various and if you are using fan pad, so as I told, our purpose should be that how do you control the height, also affect your environment inside the greenhouse. Apart from that, safety is also important. Fire safety, as I told, depending on the types of cladding material, you have to take care that there should not be fire issue, and you have to make the provision for fire safety. Apart from mechanical safety is also important, because if there is sharp projection, that will damage your cladding material, or maybe worker those are working, then electrical safety is also very important. These are very common things wherever, in any house, anywhere, you have to take care about this parameter. Then chemical safety, because you are using a lot of chemicals in the plant protection work, and the soil treatment, so you have to take care about the chemical safety issue, so that it should not harm the environment. Apart from the environment, those persons working there. In last, that is utilities. Here the electricity is there, depending upon which type of gadget and how much of power, what is the power requirement, how much you are using renewable or non-renewable sources, that the various issues are there. So, and apart from that, you have power backup facilities should be there, so that in case of some emergency, you can start the generator, or power backup facility should work. Apart from that, alarm system should be there. Suppose that if there is no alarm system, your environment control system has stopped, so it will affect your whole crop cultivation. So this facility should be there, and for that the national electricity code is there. You can see for the details. And in table 4, you can see that depending upon the size of area, the details is given here. And watering, we'll discuss detail in lecture 9. There are various waterings normally used for drip irrigation system, but depending upon the crop and your purpose, there are various watering system is there, and normally water requirement, you know very well that as I told, in lecture 9 we will discuss in detail. Okay, there is one separate class on irrigation system in the greenhouse. In lecture 9 I will cover. So depending on your media, which type of media you are using, area to be irrigated, what is the area, size of the area, crop grown, which crop you are growing, right, what is the duration of crop, then weather condition outside, inside. Inside is more important, because inside how your temperature, light, because evapotranspiration, because climate condition, environment inside the greenhouse, your evapotranspiration will change. Okay, and then which type of heating, ventilating, different component means how it is changing. You can, in short, you can say depending upon heating, evapotranspiration, and you can calculate what is water requirement. And for that the details is given. For that also you can see that there is the Indian standard is there for the micro irrigation system inside the greenhouse. Climate is very important. Okay, and for that, due to that, there is the IS standard, heating, ventilating, cooling is there. I will cover detail in lecture 8. Means that today is the lecture 7. In next lecture I will cover details separately about the cooling and heating of the greenhouse. Okay, so depending upon your location, how much outside environment temperature is there, which location you are talking. So depending upon your location, cooling or heating will be required. So separately we will cover in lecture 8 about the details about these things. Thank you very much for your patience, and I hope if you have any question, already I told many times the details is given, so you can contact me. Thank you once again for your kind attention. Thank you very much.